Welcome to the second episode of Batanggenyo in Quarantine, a channel about topics in communication. This is the first episode in a video format. Should you wish to listen to the first episode where I tackled social exchange theory, I will be leaving the link in the description box. For more communication-related content, click subscribe or visit my SoundCloud profile. Today, we are going to discuss development communication model and theory. Development communication is a branch of communication that seeks to serve the marginalized people for development. In a world where there is a need to address advocacy and changes, development communication is an integral theory and model for social change. It involves direct messaging to target stakeholders and encourage community participation and feedback for advocacy change. Development communication has developed throughout time and now is a vital strategy in the third world countries as its application targets communication through development and empowerment. Its nature of communication is biased to the marginalized sector. It aims to empower the stakeholders through information dissemination and use communication mediums to support social change. In development communication theory, community participation is an essential element as communication for development is a two-way communication. Applying development communication processes is convenient as it can be adjusted according to the needs of the community. Development communication is a learning process, which is a crucial communication model in developing in third world countries. As it is a development-centric model, development communication focuses on supporting marginalized sectors, developing advocacy-focused communication campaigns, and using development roles in social change objectives. The development communication theory and model enable building communication tools to address pressing issues in the community. In the Philippines, development communication is essential in communication building towards stakeholders. As a developing country, grasping communication is the key to advancement. In a development communication model addressing the local community, there are 5 elements considered in communication for development in third world countries: individuals, grassroots organization, development support, power holders, and resources. The model emphasizes the value of communication in an organization to empower marginalized groups and communities. It is imperative to create a specific communication model targeting the vulnerable sectors in order to identify their needs and strategic ways to support them for social change. Development communication is not just a theory and model, but an established academic discipline. Coined by Dr. Nora Cruz Quebral, development communication is the science of human communication linked to the transitioning of communities from poverty in all its forms to a dynamic overall growth that fosters equity and the unfolding of human potential. To development communication practitioners, this 2012 latest definition of the academic discipline applies to what development communication targets: its stakeholders and communities' overall growth at their potential. As communication practitioners in the field, it is important to have role models. Through their achievements, it will be an aspiration not just in professional growth, but also to be a medium to contribute to the body of knowledge in communication. Let's briefly identify 2 communication scholars prominent in the field of development communication in the Philippines. Dr. Nora Cruz Quebral. Development communication received a Philippine perspective as it was coined in 1971 by Dr. Nora C. Quebral, also known as the mother of development communication. Dr. Quebral coined the definition of development communication and the development of the concept called the Los Baños School of Thought, among the trailblazing practices she left as a contribution to the body of knowledge. Quebral stated that the latest definition of the development communication adapts to the developing mechanism of the society, and the discipline is perceived as a contribution to new knowledge and insights. Dr. Quebral's legacy in the development communication is a vital element to continue the excellence to aspiring scholars in the Philippines in pursuing development perspective in social change. Following the steps of Dr. Nora Quebral in the field of development is Dr. Alexander G. Flor. Dr. Flor's works focus on information and communication technologies for development and communication for development. He is also known for his published studies on distance learning, strategic and environmental communication, the collective mind, knowledge management, and ethnovideography. Dr. Flor noted that communication is for change, which is a brief definition of development communication. From a communicator's perspective, it is always thought that communication is for expression, but it can be a useful tool to be used for social change and development if applied for persuasion. And I quote from Dr. Flor, "The holy grail to development communication is to design a communication strategy, procedure, or technique that would make a socially beneficial message assume a life of its own." There you have it, a brief overview about development communication model and theory. I hope you learned a thing or two in this episode, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!
Multi-spy.